December 57th, 2025, just in time. There's one thing about me, I never miss my mark. Yes, I'm gonna keep doing the extended December bit, it's timeless. As in, it ignores time and how it is understood to work. But on the plus side, I'm giving you guys extra for today's end of year list. I may have only had 11 songs, including the honorable mention for my worst rap songs of 2025 video, but for this one, I've got 15 songs to talk about because we're not doing hit rap songs anymore, and oh my god, this talking about just anything give me so much more great music to talk about. Honestly, this could have been 20 songs, 25 songs if I wanted it to be, but I wanted this video to drop sometime in the 2020s decade, so I decided 15 was a good sweet spot. And right before we get into it, I want to thank CyberGhost VPN for sponsoring today's video. With over 38 million users worldwide and a near perfect Trustpilot score, CyberGhost VPN is perfect if you're looking for a reliable way to protect your privacy on the internet and bypass online regional restrictions. I've actually been using it recently while traveling, staying in hotels, and using their public Wi-Fi. Rather than just openly using it and putting my data at risk, I used CyberGhost to help keep me safe while browsing by encrypting my traffic and keeping me digitally anonymous. And if privacy is your main concern, they have you covered, as even CyberGhost themselves don't keep logs of your activity either. And of course, there's one of my favorite benefits of using it to bypass regional streaming restrictions. Want to watch something on Netflix that's only available in another country? You can do that with CyberGhost. Or if you're a wrestling fan like myself, but you happen to be located in the US, it's so much easier to watch every WWE show on Netflix and AEW's weekly shows on Triller by setting your virtual location to the UK with CyberGhost. Hell, there's even certain rap albums and songs that are only available in certain regions. CyberGhost can help you there too. Just choose another country in 2 clicks and unblock libraries of 40 streaming platforms. It's super easy to use. What's more, CyberGhost can protect you on up to 7 devices at the same time, so one subscription can go a long way. So, if you want to protect your anonymity online and not be restricted by regional blocks, now is the perfect time to get CyberGhost VPN. And if you use my link in the description, you'll get an 84% discount, along with an additional 4 months for free. And you can take advantage of this risk-free with a 45-day money-back guarantee and access to 24/7 customer support. Thank you to CyberGhost VPN for sponsoring today's video. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's appreciate some great music and get into my list of the best rap songs of 2025.
2 lamb coops, 4 lamb trucks, pulling up with
Even though I'm not limiting myself to hits for these lists anymore, it doesn't mean that a song needs to be particularly deep or a storytelling type of track to make it. Some straight up bangers are still gonna make the list, and Dumb Dumb and Dumber damn near makes Wham a 1-song album for me. Not that everything on it sucks, but this is so clearly the best track on there in my opinion. Hard-hitting beat and all 3 rappers in form with an actual good Young Thug verse, which is more rare than it should be in 2025. I love that little section where Young Thug doubles up the last line in his verses. It just sounds so smooth if you focus on it. Going outside.
30 niggas going outside. Private truck came with a bag. Only fucking overseas shit.
Future goes crazy on it too. He was just meant for this track.
Backyard vibes by the ocean. Driveway look like a car show. 250 million on the go.
A banger that always gets me amped up. I love this one. And it has the distinction of Lil Baby breaking the world record for confirming that the listener knows what he's talking about before he starts rapping.
Mr. M and Cash, anytime you see me, you know. R.I.P. records, play a duck to catch a duck, you know. Trigger niggas who trigger niggas, you know. Sign and win, golden child, you know.
Cool stuff.
Like maybe one day I'll be perfect in every way and then I feel okay.
Through my request live streams, which happen every Wednesday and now Saturdays as well, sometimes around 1 PM Eastern, I've been put on to a lot of Suicide Boys music, in particular by a viewer of mine and fellow YouTuber, Scarecrow. So I've gotten a good idea of what their music sounds like and how it's evolved over time. And I have to say, I think this current sober arc of their music, with songs that have a little bit more of a hopeful sound generally, is some of my favorite stuff from them so far. I think their OG fans generally enjoy the darker, grittier, depressing sounding stuff a bit more, but for me, a song like Full of Grace is so beautiful to listen to. This song still does reflect on the darkness of Ruby and Scrim's past, when they were deep in their drug addiction and unhappiness.
Still my granny girl, she going through a drop, said don't even know it, tell everybody I'm good, but they like, you don't speak the short.
Giving a very real look at how things were at rock bottom, but the brighter sound of Scrim's incredible production here does help to paint things in a bit more of a hopeful light. And as always with his beats, the drums go crazy. It's always been a strength of his instrumental work. It was a toss-up between this song, Napoleon, and Oh What a Wretched Man I Am, but I think this one is my favorite 2025 Suicide Boys song at the moment at least. Oh, and also from their newest project, which I didn't hear until this month when Scarecrow sent me it, but that Reggie Bush track, I can't remember the full track right now, that shit is really hard.
No, my bitch so bad, you spend your cash on a bitch you never had, yeah.
One simple thing I love about this one is that Tekka managed to make such an infectiously catchy track that became super successful with a Neptune's type beat from YouTube. If you've ever written rap songs yourself before, then you probably also found a lot of the beats through YouTube, so it's cool to see someone make such a big hit that way. It also helps that it's one of Tekka's all-time catchiest songs, which is pretty impressive considering that catchiness is one of the biggest draws of his music in the first place.
And I ain't tryna add no pressure for you. I know that they all doing extra. She got dark thoughts.
It's one of those songs where it's rare that when it comes on, I'll only listen to it one time. Whenever I hear it, it's getting ran back at least a couple extra times. Shout out to Lucas Sharf for making such an incredible beat for this one. It really nails that Neptune's type of sound and provided some amazing framework for Tekka to lay down his melodies over.
I never changed up, never changed up. Cindy Sweeney called me and I hanged up. Bust down, rolled around, I said.
Speaking of some Pharrell, Neptune's influence, 2025 seemed to be a pretty good year for that. The Kings of Fun are back once again, baby. This is why not doing hit songs for these lists is so much better, because then I can include non-Hot 100 bangers like this. What an insanely energetic track, bro. Some hard-hitting 2000s Neptune's throwback type production from Joey Valence, an entertaining verse from him, Bray on his energetic Fat Man Scoop shit for the chorus, and having some all-timer bars during his verse.
I'm half amazing and half Asian. I'm so good you can say I'm amazing.
And a great feature from Tia Corine as a cherry on top. Something about her nasally delivery and her flows just hits. I really enjoyed her on Denzel's Hot One as well, so maybe I need to hear more of her music.
Check it out, get classy with a mix of nasty. It can beat me and you like Cassie, sassy.
It's one of the most energetic songs of the year, honestly. It goes dummy stupid.
I'm on this plane every day, so it's showing you, baby, on how I do you in a different way. I don't got time for mistakes that'll be fucking up.
I love seeing Yeat's music continue to grow and evolve over time, man. While I still think he hasn't entirely nailed consistency on his projects yet, it seems like with each new one that he drops, there's at least a song or two on there that really feel like an evolution from what he's done previously and just stand out a lot. That's what Growing Pains feels like. Sort of like a further sharpening of that 2093 sound that I love so much. Yeat tracks are all about the atmosphere that he can craft, and Benny X, Yeat himself, Adapter, and Juscus put together such a wonderfully layered beat for this track. That outro section is beautiful on here. All the sounds on this are just so satisfying to me. If this is a sign of the direction that YEAT's A Dangerous Life album that he's been teasing is going to go in, then I think I'm very much gonna enjoy it. So those were sort of like my 5 honorable mentions for this list, or maybe I'm just gonna call it 15 best rap songs in the title. I don't really know yet, but with that being said, let's get into the top 10 now.
Jawbone sword from the teeth grind, got too fast for the rewind, have to put it back piece by piece by please mind the gap behind the black sheet.
I decided to check out a clipping album for the very first time this year, and it was a pretty cool experience. And Run It was probably my favorite song from their new Dead Channel Sky project. The album as a whole has themes of futuristic dystopia, and Run It takes it in a pretty interesting direction, chronicling the fast-paced nature of drug addiction and drug dealing. The instrumental gives the song this really fun cyberpunk edge to it with that electronic bounce, and if there's one thing that I'm very quickly learning about the clipping vocalist David Diggs, it's that he will always have a dizzying flow to match these instrumentals.
Etching you in the thoughts of every new city cop. The ingenue was a op. Skin is itching, you just a bitch with a bounty. To the switch flipping, you sucking dick in the county.
And something about that glitching section that kind of functions as the hook in between the verses just scratches a certain itch in my brain. I think it's the static sounds literally funneling their way in there.
For him and they need to run it.
Also, I just found out while working on this that it's actually a single from 2024, but shh, it's from a 2025 album and it's the first time I heard it. I've already added it to the list. I like the song, I'm not removing it. This song is stupidly addictive. Danny Brown went full terminally online music mode this year, and the results are mostly pretty great if you ask me, with Copycats being that one song that I just can't stop looping over and over again. All those bassy hits on the instrumental are absolutely addictive, and Danny sounds like he's just having a blast flowing over it.
Dance with the stars on my walk on the moon, got my head in the clouds, ain't coming back soon. Yo, what I do, I'ma make my own rules, no lies on the truth when I step in that booth.
I've definitely said it before, but I'm so happy that Danny Brown's voice grew on me over time because he makes some really cool music, man. Honestly, Danny Brown could be rapping his shopping list, followed by his to-do list on verse 2 on this track, and it would still sound fun as hell with that vibrant instrumental and the almost cartoonish quality of his rapping. It's all completed with an incredibly catchy hook from Underscores, who also produced the instrumental, and it made for something that hasn't left my rotation since it dropped.
If I'm being honest, and I would like to all that I wanted.
Now, it did only drop a couple months back, but it's gonna stay in there for a long time. You get what I mean.
Face in a fire, change your surroundings, kings of the county, angels around me.
What an amazing outro to Earl's Live, Laugh, Love album. I'm ready for some people to call this holy glaze, but Earl is straight up laying down poetry on this track. I feel like that's the best way it can be described. It's like the opposite of all style, no substance. Or not exactly the opposite, because it still has Earl's unorthodox cadence that always makes for an intriguing listen, and I would say is stylized in its own way. But what I mean is that it's not super flashy and in your face, but the writing is just steadily layered with metaphors and interesting imagery.
Operating a tight ship, God steering a ship, the wheel in a vice grip, slave to the vices.
Let me just put some of my favorite lines up on the screen for you guys. Oh wait, that's the whole verse. In all seriousness though, there's a reason why a lot of Earl fans love quoting the last couple of lines from the verse here. There's something about the aforementioned poetry of them, along with the growth-focused nature of the track, that really makes them hit home.
At the end of the day, it's really just you and whatever you think, from air mailing you strength.
I also love the line where Earl talks about his father living on in some ways through his own child. A powerful moment if you know anything about Earl's often complicated feelings towards his father in the past. And all of it just sounds beautiful with that breezy navy blue co-produced instrumental behind his words.
We went our own ways and still think of you highly. Give my baby my daddy last name in his likeness.
A really incredible track that does so much with one short verse.
I charter unseen territories in order to push it farther than you niggas had ever thought of. I caught a lot of murder charges, turn artists to martyrs.
In 2026, we are finally gonna be getting the long-awaited Fall Off album from J. Cole that he initially teased way back in 2018. And if Clouds is anything to go by, he's still got it in him to drop some great tracks, man. As someone who didn't love Might Delete Later overall, this was a nice return to form. In a similar fashion to the off-season style, Cole has densely packed, lengthy verses where he's basically flexing how much stuff he can rhyme, while also stacking the verses with content.
The planet of shake when I'm performing. Tectonic plates from a place with text on their waist, so stay safe or get left with chest on your face as death waits for your last breath.
The first verse is really solid, with Cole just easily weaving his way throughout the instrumental, but I think the second verse is really the highlight on here, with Cole dropping some observational bars about the state of the world today.
I seen babies turn fiends, addicted to the screen. The dad shares, cashiers replaced by machines. Don't buy, subscribe so you could just stream.
It really fits what the hook is talking about, with Cole saying that he's aging faster than he even realizes, giving the track the feeling of someone who's lived a lot of years, just analyzing how the world is changing around them. It's not saying anything particularly complicated or new. Like I said, it's more observational than anything, but I think the way that Cole lays it down with his writing skill is what makes it so great to listen to. I'm very happy we're getting the album now, because these kind of singles would maybe get a little bit interchangeable if Cole just kept dropping them, but that's not an issue for me as far as Clouds is concerned. For a song Cole just randomly decided to release on his blog one day, it's pretty damn great.
I deserve a subtle flex and a rare brag, cause I'm the one who put the dreads in a carrot hat. Cut him and immediately grew my hair back.
What a beautiful song, man. There are honestly a few songs I could have chosen from Saba and No ID's collab album this year, but I think Head Wrap is the best one overall, taking everything into consideration. We start with that gorgeously soulful beat from No ID with the amazing Madison McFerrin sample. She had a pretty great year, being featured on Tyler's album too.
I ain't got the time to lose on you. I ain't got the time to lose.
Before Saba comes in with some great verses, tracking the journey of his life through his hair, the different lengths of it, and the significance of what that means to him. He perfectly balances meaningful bars with some good humor to certain bars here and there, and it makes for an extremely warm and good-natured experience. Listen, I was put onto Saba's music through his dark and emotionally intense Care For Me album, and I still love that to this day, but this warmer, happier side of his music is just as good, to be honest. And finally, that pre-chorus chorus combo from Ogie and Jordan Ward is just glorious. It might be the most wonderfully soothing thing I've heard all year.
Keep growing your garden. You keep growing your garden.
Everything about this song is gorgeous, man.
About to talk to homies and I met them through the signals. I've been on the internet since 10. I don't mean the time, I mean my age, and that is how my little friendship will begin.
This right here feels like some prime Rich Brian. Time Zones is a track about so many different things: the internet, human connection, coming of age, family, all delivered through Brian's personal experiences of long-distance love, heartbreak, and friendship. If you know anything about Rich Brian, you'll know how important the internet has been in his life and career, and through the 6.5 minutes of pure rapping, all verse, no hook, Brian dives into how his experiences with long-distance friends and a girlfriend that he met online shaped him and helped him grow, helped him come out of his shell, because not all of those experiences ended well. Specifically, little spoiler, the long-distance girlfriend situation.
Then I met a girl that go by the name of Whitney. Yeah, we met on Vine, I was 15 at the time. First person I could say I love you to, to set it back. The opposite of my internet speed, we moving fast. Long paragraph, I read that shit in silence. She broke it off, our anniversary, erased it from the calendars, big deal, nothing weird about it, just checking where my ex at, all I saw was red cups, how she going party just a day after the breakup.
I won't give you a full flat out recap of the track right here because honestly you'd be better served by just going and listening to it. It's really good, but this might be one of Brian's best storytelling tracks yet. It ends with the line that ties it all together, thanks to all my friends in different time zones, really putting that exclamation point on the fact that he wouldn't be where he is today without them. He might never have started his career and traveled to the US without the people that he met through the internet. Production and lyricism wise, it's quite reminiscent of The Sailor to me, which is pretty great because that is my favorite Brian album, with the production being handled by Rich Brian himself here. Butterflies was easily my most played Rich Brian song from the year because that one is just addictive as hell, but Time Zones I think is the most impressive one overall.
Now every punchline they need a crutch and an ice pack. You silly with the uppercuts, video proof. Fuck y'all niggas still tweeting for. Get in the booth.
2025 was a busy year for Joey Badass, and it made for another one of those entries where it was hard to pick just one song from the artist, but My Town I think is one of his absolute best overall from the year. Plenty of you will be familiar with the whole East Coast versus West Coast rap beef that was going on throughout the year, with the main players relevant to this track being Joey himself, of course, Ray Vaughn, AZ Chike, and Daylight. Both sides came with some solid tracks, but Joey was in top form for this entire thing. This song absolutely shows that, and his wordplay during the lengthy verse here is so peak. I love his UV Ray bar, his Forrest Whitaker bar, rhyming it with would occur is just so smooth. The triple entendre in his light pack bar, the pull it sir bar, and maybe most lyrically impressive, coining AZ Chike as ass cheek, ensuring that anybody who has heard this song will never quite look at his name the same way anymore.
Look, Ray Vaughn was so last week. Now I'm hearing shit about some nigga named Ass Cheek.
Nearly 3 minutes of absolute heat from Joey Badass over the Kirk Knight beat. This beef had him rapping in a way that I feel like I haven't heard Joey rap in a while. He's my favorite part of this, but Loaded Lux comes in with a great verse of his own for the feature as well.
East to the west, that's crossroads for you and never we intersect. Line for line and hashtag it. Same about good kids or badass. You been on the ropes, that's why you wear that ski mask. Careers on the slope, your shit playing freeze tag. You been going for broke.
All in all, beef like this is fun, man. It's not too serious. It's extremely unlikely to turn deadly or anything like that. It's just straight up rap with competitive spirit. Something that I'm never gonna be mad at, especially when we get tracks like this out of it.
You run from the spirit of repossession. Too much enamel covers your necklace. I buy bitches, you buy them sections.
Listen, if you've heard me talk about clips at all in 2025, then you probably figured that they would be pretty high up on my best songs of the year list. The only question for me was which one to go for, but in the end, I landed on their Kendrick Lamar collaboration, Chains and Whips. How could it not be the Clips and Kendrick collab, man? Come on. What a fusion. I love this song so much that I temporarily set it as my morning alarm and then very quickly changed it so that I don't start to hate it for being the song that wakes me up every morning. Every element of this track is basically perfection. From that Western style beat from Pharrell, the catchy swing to his post-chorus, to the top level rapping from everyone involved.
Chains and whips.
It's kinda like 2020's No Church in the Wild, except instead of getting a singing feature for the hook, you get a Kendrick verse for the feature, where he's just doing some insane rapping and janning all over the place. Just straight up janning it.
The two-time Gemini with the genocide. I'm generous, however you want it. I'll be the gentle kind. Gentlemen and gangsters connect. The agenda of mine. Every song in the book of Genesis. Let the sonics boom. Niggas want the tea on me. Well, here's the ginger root. I generate residuals, bitch. Get off my genitals.
And there's nothing I can say about the Clips verses that I haven't already said about their rapping in 2025 in my review of their Let God Sort 'Em Out album. It's that laser perfect precision that you would expect from both of of them.
Mamas is falling out in funerals and bomb and blow. They now viewing you. They never find the guns, but the sewers do.
A perfect collaboration that we were blessed with this year. Now, it would be crazy if Clips somehow had another appearance on this list, despite the fact that we only have 2 more songs to go.
I'll put a bullet in Bob the fucking builder before they try and kick us out the building. What about the children?
Before we talk about this track, let's just take a moment of silence for Jid's top op, Bob the Builder. Bob the Builder, can he fix it? Bob the Builder, no, it's fucked. Oh shit, sorry, moment of silence, moment of silence.
We the best music!
Khaled, here's hoping it was the reboot version that he killed and not the original, because who the fuck is that? Anyway, I don't feel like we've got a crazy amount of angry Jid rapping before. He usually has a pretty calm demeanor, but my god does it hit like crazy on this track. I'd love to hear pissed off Jid more often.
I don't give a fuck about no industry beef. Ain't nobody give a fuck when Tay was dead in the street. The biggest nigga on the block still get shot. Pop. You thinking pop?
And jokes about the Bob the Builder line aside, it ties really nicely into the song's theme about impoverished communities, with that line and the next one specifically being about eviction and gentrification. Jid is great here, but then you add verses from Clips as well? Wrap it up, bro. You can't top that. Other than the one song I subjectively have above this one on this list, but you know what I mean. It's an elite combo. The way Jid passes over to Push's verse by talking about his own experiences with Virginia before saying that Push can tell you more about it because he was born there, is just such a perfect way to pass it over.
It was after then I took my talents right up to Virginia. I could tell you what it was, but let bro tell you what I'm missing. Pay attention. What's missing in my hood?
And from the first lines of Pusha T's verse, you know that you're gonna be getting something crazy on here.
What's missing in my hood, I identified. Then I brought white to my hood. Shit, I gentrified.
And Malice was only dropping top tier verses in 2025, and this was no exception. My appreciation for his rapping just skyrocketed this whole year. He easily had the darkest, most harrowing verse in this one.
Candy lady right there, zombie land right there. Them apartments be the perfect backdrop for any nightmare.
All in all, it's a track that paints a full, clear picture with some extremely good lyricism, conveying its themes effortlessly. It sounds great, and it's a track where everyone on it is working perfectly in tandem, all taking slightly different angles on the subject matter, but all sticking to it precisely. Each rapper adding an extra dimension to the track and to this idea of community in their respective neighborhoods. It's something special.
She was 24, last week told me something you can't be ready for. I'm on the death of our innocence.
Fairchild is my favorite type of song from Dave. Lengthy runtime with a lot to say while commenting on issues within the world, with Dave reflecting on himself and acknowledging times where he's contributed to these problems. Fairchild is sort of like the spiritual successor to his song Leslie. I believe he even references it here but censors the name drop, talking about the safety issues that women face in several aspects of their lives. It relays this through the story of someone that Dave knows named Tama and her experiences with unwanted sexual advances through something as simple as going out to the club and just trying to have fun. Most of it she's used to and almost downplays because sadly it's so common. Her taxi driver hitting on her unprompted, for example. People being really pushy at the club and trying to take her home.
Driver was acting all forward, I should've drawn a line. She wasn't worried about it, it happens all the time. She busy throwing up, he's trying to take her to the crib, but that's the culture of the club, right? All games fair.
But it eventually escalates to the next level, bringing the cab driver back into the fold in the most horrific way after she's left the club and is walking home. It's all delivered in an emotive and intense verse from Nicole Black, who gives her all in bringing this horrifying scenario to life, really conveying how horrific it is.
I hear him running up, I ran and I tripped, I fell and I buckle, my belt in a buckle, my keys in my knuckles, I'm hitting him hard, it's turning him on, the burning is God, my body is so cold and frozen in fear.
Before transitioning back into Dave, diving back into all the social issues and attitudes that can result in situations like this, that can enable them to happen.
But if you ain't a girl, I guess you don't know the feeling of watching what you wear because you're worried about making it home.
Danger doesn't look like no killer in a mask. It looks like that kid in the group chat that jokes about algorithm gonna find some people just like him. They hate women too, okay, yeah, fuck it, let's connect him.
What makes songs like these hit so hard from Dave is the reality of them. It's sadly not even close to an outlandish concept that a taxi driver could be so dangerous as to wait for a woman that he dropped off at the club to come out so he can target her afterwards. He's not making up a crazy scenario here. This is based in our world. And another thing that makes this track really special is that it doesn't take a holier than thou preachy approach to getting its message across, because taking a tone like that on a track like this can just put some people off and kind of dull the message connecting with them. But Dave acknowledges where he's went wrong before, thinking about situations where he could have unintentionally jeopardized women's safety, for example by throwing a no phone party, which sounds kind of insane in the first place. Oh yeah, let's throw a party where we take away one of the devices that can help to keep women safe, but he acknowledges that here. There's a comment on the Genius page for this track comparing the song and its themes to the recent miniseries Adolescence, and it's pretty spot on. There's even a short, impactful section here where Dave talks about social media algorithms connecting people with dangerous attitudes towards women to content creators who further deepen that feeling and try to make it seem normal to treat all women in certain ways. Unfortunately, the dumbest voices are usually the loudest, so this type of content has become extremely popular over the years. And that makes me really appreciate a track like this from a bigger artist that acts as a counter narrative to all the bullshit. The more stuff like this that's out there, the better. That's why Fairchild by Dave is my favorite song of 2025. And so there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is my list of the 15 best rap songs of 2025 in my opinion. What did you think the best songs of the year were? Let me know down in the comments below, and I'll be moving on to my best and worst rap albums of 2025 tier list video as my final end of year list next. And once again, thank you to CyberGhost for sponsoring this one. Make sure to click my link in the description for 84% off with 4 additional free months and protect your privacy online today. So that's pretty much going to be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to check out my video on the 10 worst rap songs of 2025, that'll be on the screen right there for you. And much love to my channel members and Patreon supporters over there, with a special shout out to Henry Flores, Elena Likes Rap Music, I Am Regent, and Neo Striker.